I was not represented by any of the big agencies. So that's where everybody was at those years was like CAA House or WME House or UTA House. So building the Latinx house for me was extremely important, Leslie, because now I can see there's a lot of first-time filmmakers that are coming all the way from Brazil, all the way from Argentina, Chile, and now they have a space and they come to me and congratulating me and thanking us for building a space where they actually can network and their ticket that's super expensive to be here is worth it because now they have a community.
And we've heard from a few different folks, even a couple of the films that are in the festival this year, that the ideas for their films and kind of the relationships that were formed were actually formed at our house.
You know, this is only our second year, and the feedback after our first year was really positive, especially from the AAPI community. People coming in and saying, we have a home for the first time. I've been to Sundance many years, and I've never had a chance to come in and feel a sense of community here. So that was really important, and now this year, I feel like it's only grown.
The first step to belonging is believing, and there's no better way to believe than on the biggest screens or perhaps the smallest screens in our pockets as well. I think also, though, our diaspora is also very proud to have been, proud and also ashamed, I think, to be the only diaspora to have made meaningful progress in on-screen representation in the last decade and a half. And so what that means is collectively, whether it's through new ownership mechanisms like CJE&M, whether it's through independent film that is deeply personal, we've made a lot of good progress there that we're proud of. But I think the second step is also leveraging that for other communities as well.
You know, we're still being talked about as a minority, but we're a growing majority. So there are big shifts that I think still need to happen. My experience with media sometimes is they don't want to tell the stories of how we're winning because they feel like, you know, they want to be objective and they don't want to take a side or they don't want to have you. But the reality is we're winning, and that's a fact in different ways, right? As one of the fastest growing communities that have Latina entrepreneurs, right? Like Latinas are creating businesses at a higher rate. Unfortunately, we're not able to keep the businesses open because we're not getting the financing that's needed. But that's a fact. That isn't taking a side. That's just reality. That is what's happening. So I think we need media to lean into some of those victories and be willing to cover them and not see them as soft stories because the collective narrative about who we are as a community and the ways in which we're contributing, that is how we're going to counter some of the violence that Congressman Castro is talking about.